What do the rich buy that the poor don't even know is available for purchase? Pet cloning. Ex-boss was getting his dog cloned for $100,000. Oh, I've heard of this. There's a company in Texas that does it kinda regularly apparently now. $25,000 for a cat, $50,000 for a dog. It's something like a $1.2K deposit just for them to send your vet the kit to obtain biosamples and to store the material. You pay the rest of it whenever you're ready to clone your critter. Edit. The company is called Viagen if anyone's curious. Thank you U/relative scale. Private boarding gate at certain airports. Complete with showers, a spa, full bar, lounge, food, a bed, gym, sauna etc. Total privacy. Your luggage is scanned and taken through security by a concierge, and you're driven to the plane in a BMW 8 Series. LAX has them now. Hello, yes, I would like to order some wealthiness just so I can have access to the private boarding gate. Yes, I'll hold, thank you. ETA, shut up, you guys. I'm on the phone. And thanks for the silver and the chuckles. I had a buddy who hired a driver, got him to get a chauffeur's license, and then made sure his Jaguar was long enough to meet criteria as a limo, and then he could legally drink in the back seat. In Iowa your vehicle doesn't have to meet length requirements. My husband worked with a guy whose wife got her chauffeur's license so he could drink in the back seat of their sedan. True love right here. Everyone knows about mega yachts, but the very rich also enjoy their own trains, or at the very least private super luxurious train cars. With their budgets it isn't expensive to rent space on freight lines and an engine, assuming they don't own their own. Sometimes a group of friends will hook their private cars together and motor around a continent having a big party. Now I am imagining some fat cat in his luxury train car between a bunch of loads of coal and some hobos in an empty boxcar. Mr. Burns, this could take a good while. Why don't you get drunk and stumble around comically for my amusement? Smithers, I will be a one-man conga line, sir. If you're willing to fork out $35,000 for the player and $500 per showing, you can watch films that are currently in theaters in your own private home theater. Wow, who would have thought a private showing is only twice as much as a normal movie ticket? Specialized household staff. When someone is truly mega rich, running their household takes the same complexity as running a small to mid-size company, and management is skilled and compensated accordingly. Don't think butler, think head of operations at a luxury hotel. The staff that household managers oversee can be really specialized as well. For example, Larry Ellison has his own personal curator to oversee his collection of Asian art. They do things like advise on the purchase and sale of art in his collection, oversee storage and display of art housed on his property, oversee process of lending art for storage and display at museums. The curator will often have their own staff to conduct actual conservation work, art transport, art installation, etc. So if you've already got an in-house crew of 7 people focused on your art collection alone, imagine how big your entire household staff is. That's why you've got a household manager. One of my friends comes from a super wealthy family. We stopped by her parents' house and of course it's a mansion with a full staff. The lead maid took one look at me and guessed my size. From there she laid out several outfits that had been bought but not worn for me to take home. It was surreal. Private performances with big-name artists. I was on a yacht in the Virgin Islands and some mega yacht owner pretty close to us had Christina Aguilera flown in to perform for his guest on the mega yacht. We were close enough to see the performance, not close enough to pretend to be part of the party. I saw an interview with Penn from Penn and Teller talk about doing a private show on a yacht for one of the Microsoft guys. They paid to shut down their Vegas show for a week, flew Penn Teller and their crew to Asia, put them up for a week on a luxury yacht and had them do one show for their friends. There was a couple of big-name bands on this cruise as well. Something they do that most people don't know about is buy entire libraries at once. My sister used to work at a bookstore, and told me someone came in and wanted to furnish their library with a library-size purchase of books. They just wanted cherry-picked bestsellers left to the discretion of the people working there. It sounded wild. Edit, this place is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm here for it. Had no idea you could buy books by the foot. What a bizarre idea. Some wealthy people also buy books as decoration, with no intent of reading most of them. They buy books from wholesalers by the linear foot, specifying how the books look on the shelves, size, color, material of spine, etc., without any regard for what the books actually are. They just need to fill wall space and library/office rooms in their homes. Landing 747s in small airports. I grew up around Lexington, Kentucky. The region is huge on horses, particularly thoroughbred horses. The entire city is surrounded by horse farms, and these farms breed some of the best racing horses in the world. The rich and famous will often come here to buy thoroughbreds to add to their breeding stock. One such person is a sheik from Dubai, I think, who owns his own private 747. Now the local airport isn't rated for 747s, and it's not legal to land one there unless it's an emergency. The sheik doesn't care though and lands his 747 there anyways. The airport fines him every time he does this, which he is totally fine with paying. I've been told that many of the upgrades to the airport over the years were almost entirely funded with money from those fines. In London, rich people figured out it was cheaper to just park on the streets illegally and just pay the fines every day than to pay for parking in the city. So the city started clamping cars, so the rich people started paying people to go and pay the fine for the car to be unclamped before they wanted to leave. Luxury ice cubes. Glacé Luxury Ice Company produces perfectly square ice blocks for minimum dilution and maximum cooling. Hand-carved and completely clear, these cubes are sold in bags of 50 and each bag costs $325. Kidnapping insurance. I worked for a major company that had employees in sketchy places, war zones. We had a blanket K&R, kidnap and ransom, policy for every employee. Basically, if any employee was kidnapped they'd pay out X millions to professional negotiators to try and free us. I never got a chance to use it, partially because I worked in Virginia the whole time. Underage sex parties on private islands. You don't have to go to a private island to be on an underage sex party. You just need some contacts in a third world country. This happens all the time in my country. You think your platinum card is cutting it? Please. Centurion is the way to go. It'll cost 10 grand just to get one, initial fee to join and the first annual fee, but you get everything. The Crystal Method are playing a local venue and you want to go backstage and shoot the shit with Scott Kirkland because you're interested in donating to his favorite causes, because you've always admired the guy, his political opinions, and his music? That can be arranged. Want a table at Schwa in Chicago, E in Vegas, Schloss Schoenstein in Forest now, or Aragawa in Tokyo? They'll get you in tomorrow. Need a full itinerary planned for a week in Paris? Need that new iPhone on day one but don't want to stand in line? Want to stay at the most luxurious place in Ibiza for the days Pete Tong is at the Blue Marlin? They do this in their sleep. It's a butler and concierge and local expert and best friend that knows a guy you'll ever meet. All just a call away. Access. Money buys you access to people, places and events. It also buys you inaccessibility. I know a couple of billionaires. Both have yachts. That way they can get away from everyone else and just bring in the people they want to spend time with. The planet isn't that big, so my friend said he kept bumping into the same people all over the place. Gstaad, Barbados, wherever, same crowd of loaded people in the same restaurants and hotels. In the end he bought a yacht, kitted it out like he wanted it, and just flew in his pals. My dad barely qualifies as a millionaire in the loosest sense. He has told me that there is a certain threshold of wealth where you can just become reliably wealthier and wealthier without a big limit. It goes like this. He has a friend from Berkeley who worked on Wall Street in the 80s and left with about $1 million in his bank account by age 35. He used half of that money to start his own business which sold a product that was greatly needed by other businesses in the area. After about 4 years of that, he bought an apartment complex for some side income. After 7 years the apartment complex has paid for itself, and he spends the profit that year on becoming a majority shareholder in another small business in the area. After making money on that, he started another small business, this time only loosely run by him with a separate CEO to run the company. Using previously accumulated money he buys a golf course and now he is technically unemployed, but the dude makes between 3 and 4 million a year off of his passive income. He called me a little while ago saying that his son is a bit of a shit and that he wants to send him to the military school where I went. I wouldn't be surprised if his son never sees him. For most people, a car is a depreciating asset. From the moment you buy it, it starts to go down in value. For ultra-wealthy car collectors, they are able to access limited edition cars that go up in value immediately. For example, McLaren only made 375 P1s that they sold for $1 to 1.5 M. They are now worth easily over $3 million. The challenge is it takes more than just money to get one of these, with only a few hundred models to allocate, And with them immediately earning their owners a profit, the manufacturer will look at a number of criteria to decide who gets one, including how many models of their regular cars you have purchased. If are offered a Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta for $2.2 million, you probably own 5+ other Ferraris and you just bought a pair of matching Portofinos for your twins who are going off to college. If you are rich, you can have a leg up when it comes to organ transplants. I believe there are flight services where you pay a subscription fee every month or year, and when an organ is available it will fly you out right away. Also, Steve Jobs gamed the system because he was able to get to different transplant hospitals over the country quickly because of his money, so he was able to be on multiple waiting lists. He was on liver transplant lists in California and Tennessee, and I believe the latter had a shorter waiting list, and because of his severity he was able to rise up the list and get a liver faster than if he was only on the list in California. This practice is not technically against the rules, but many view it as unethical. Basically, if you need an organ you better be rich. Time. All that crap you do, commuting, grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning your house, waiting on hold, paying bills, all those chunks of your life that are eaten up by minutia, rich people buy out of all that routine garbage. Time is all you really get in your life. Rich people buy it back. A while back some guy on here was talking about his experience working as a sort of personnel manager for a billionaire and how things are just wildly different for them. The specific example he used was how things work when these people want to go on a trip, and give any notice at all to their employees. What happens is that an advance team gets sent ahead by a few days to scope out the rented/bought location and report back exact dimensions for closet space, drawer space, etc. People back at the home go through the clothing, jewelry, etc., and draw up a priority list which is sent to the advance team. The advance team then spends the next 2 days purchasing the list of items. Entire wardrobes, jewelry sets, makeup kits, bathing supplies, etc. Anything they cannot get, not enough time, or is one of a kind like the family heirloom watch the rich dude wears every now and then, is relayed to the house team. The family schedule is arranged such that the moment the family leaves the house on the day of travel, a whole team of people rushes through and packs up all the remaining items. Only after the family leaves, you wouldn't want to deny them access to their items for even a few seconds, which are then sent ahead to the airport while the family has a lunch or something somewhere. Upon landing, their luggage takes one route, direct, and the family takes a similarly indirect route, unless otherwise directed, such that by the time they get to the location all of their items are not just unpacked but in their proper organized locations and ready for use without any of the advance team ever being visible to the family. What happens when the family leaves the location? The same situation in reverse, but quite frequently all of the repurchased items are just disposed of in some method. It's just easier, if not cheaper, to rebuy them each time the family goes somewhere if they aren't traveling to too many different locations in quick succession. Subscribe for more amazing stories. I said subscribe now. Otherwise this will open the door and eat you when you are asleep.